Hi everyone, this is the Canny Couple. I'm Julia,
And I'm Aaron.
and today we want to talk about how you can stay warm and save money on your electricity. But before we get started, make sure you hit the like
I
button
was
and
like, what do you want me to
subscribe
say?
to our channel. He's forgotten. So I'm not sure about everybody else, but because our weather patterns have been kind of crazy lately.
Yeah, so we went from 80-degree weeks down to 50-degree weeks pretty quickly. So
And
it's
some
like,
30-degree nights.
yeah, so it's like we've skipped,
The
from
fall.
summer to winter again. So, that time period when you hope not to run your heat, for a couple of months and you can save some money.
Yep.
Eh,
We're not having too much luck with keeping the house comfortable and warm.
right.
Um, so we have a few tips that we've developed over the past few years
Mm-hmm.
to help us save money and help us stay warm on certain things and certain little creature comforts that we like, staying comfortable.
Right, right.
And these are just some basic tips that can help you, we hope. So, and we're also at a phase right now where I would say like we could have an 80-degree day, like that's how
Mm-hmm.
crazy our weather patterns are here. It's good because it's not so cold that everything that we still have in the garden is going to die.
Exactly, because we still have, a lot of
Peppers.
peppers that we want to finish.
So we're kind of fingers crossed, but we are dealing with some cold weather.
Yeah.
And I will say that for us, it has gotten cold enough today that we had to about grit our teeth and turn the air condition the heater on.
The heat pump on. Yeah, not the air conditioning.
Not
Gosh, no.
the
Yeah, so we had been trying to hold off as long as possible. Um, if if we had if we had a little bit more time to prepare around some of our windows that you'll hear what we're going to
Mhm.
do about, I think this might have got us a few more days.
Maybe, but I'm not sure. It's still been pretty cold. And I will say we do have a wood stove, and we have every intention of using that this
We
winter
we just we need to both be home to
in the
get it
living room.
started for the first day of use, and we've both been back and forth a lot out here recently. So
And Aaron has some side hustle things that are happening,
yes,
so we have to kind of focus on when's a really good time where we're both available in case something does go wrong, because we want to make sure we
yeah, for the
catch him.
first time.
So, number one, layers.
I'm wearing a jacket right now. Stay, put on an extra layer of
Don't wear
clothes.
short sleeves. He's got short sleeves. Wear long sleeves. Wear sweaters.
Yeah,
Wear socks. Good socks. Thick socks. Um,
some that's got some wool in them.
if you can handle the wool. Now, if you like fuzzy socks, really soft socks, they're
Well, well, a lot of them's got like the 20% wool in anymore that is still better than none.
it is well if they can handle the wool on their skin. And sometimes they're itchy, and I understand that. Now, if you like fuzzy socks, I still find they're kind of cold, and I have found that in our house the floors are cold because now we don't have carpet.
Right.
But what I like to do is I actually like to preserve my soft socks, the fleece ones, and I actually like to put another pair of socks on top. So I get double layer, double insulation. I'm layering my socks, but definitely a nice, good pair of thick socks. These are really thick. I like these a lot. I'm actually wearing the other pair right now. Um, I also like fleece sweatpants, fleece leggings,
Yes.
anything like that that you could find that's got that extra bit of warmth.
You don't
Um,
you don't need shorts around in the wintertime in the
you do
house.
not, you really do not, and it will help keep you comfortable
Mm-hmm.
instead of cold. Um, the next one is going to be heat small spaces as needed. So we're not saying don't have a heater, don't run a heater, like a small one, but
But
don't try to heat
the whole you don't have to heat the whole house. Heat the areas that are needed.
your bedroom.
Yes.
Close the door. Turn it on an hour before bed. Close the
Yep.
door. Make sure you monitor it. Make sure there's nothing around it. That's important with the heater.
Yes.
Make sure there's nothing around it. Get the room comfortable before you go to bed. We've been doing that What, not for us so
Yeah.
much, not for us so much, for the baby.
Right.
Making sure her room stays nice and warm, but she stays completely toasty.
Mm.
Turn it off when it's time for her to go to bed, and her room stays a good temperature all night.
All night.
All night. So, it really does help if you focus on small spaces. Trying to heat a big area is much harder. Smaller areas are much
Yes.
easier, and it's
Yes.
going to use less electricity and use less money.
Right.
Hats and toboggans.
Yes, just like I've got on right now. You know, a hat. It helps keep your head insulated. You feel warmer. You know, anytime you have something on your head, it will keep the rest of you warmer.
Yeah, if you ever notice, like a lot of times people sweat so much when they wear hats, and
Mm-hmm.
Aaron will forego a hat and wear his sweatband in the summertime. I mean, a lot
Well,
of times you will.
well,
You'll just
yeah,
completely
and
skip the
well,
hat.
even in the wintertime, I try to put a sweatband
Always.
on to protect my hats to make them last longer.
Well, that and also to keep them from getting wet from the
Yep.
sweat. It
Yep.
absorbs the moisture, which we have also found. That's not on here, but that's a good tip.
Mm-hmm.
So we have found if you wear moisture wicking materials underneath, like your thermals and things like that,
Yeah, you
it
yeah,
helps so much.
it's like a drastic change.
We tried that about 2 years
Mm-hmm.
ago. I tried it and I was like, because I can't handle a bulky coat and work. I need room to move and maneuver and move around. And I have a vest, a work vest that I love. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been amazing. We got it at Vanity Fair. How I miss thee. Um, got it at Vanity Fair for a killer deal, and I've worn that thing out. And it's still going strong, but I needed more layers on, so I'll wear a thermal. And then I'll wear one of those moisture wicking things underneath it, and it keeps me dry. I don't sweat. It absorbs any sweat, and it keeps me warm.
Yeah.
It's been one of the best things we've ever done. Um, so he does that with sweatbands underneath
Mm-hmm.
his toboggans, anything like that. It does help keep the
Yeah.
moisture away, keep your clothes from getting wet.
Um, next is making sure you have curtains up.
Or
Or,
blinds.
well,
We,
if you
we
can,
prefer curtains.
if you can have two layers up, it's even better. You know, have two very thick, dark, blackout type curtains. Two layers of those is like amazing.
And I know there are curtain people and there are not curtain people. There are blinds people and there are no, I want nothing on my window people. We get that. We totally get that. We're curtain people. I am a anti-blind person, but I also like having something over my windows. But there are a few windows that I do not or cannot have anything on. And I've been really thinking hard, like, what can I do? What can I do? And I've got these in my pocket. And what I decided to do is to use these little cup hooks, and they're going to match my wall, so they're not going to be noticeable for the most part. And I'm going to put them above my windows, the few that we have, the three, and also our doors, and use these to hang a blanket from,
Yeah.
or an old towel, anything.
For those, like I said, for those windows that colder air could get in through to seal up the house even more.
Yep. So that, I feel like this is an easy way to do it for us, and it would work really well, especially if you don't like to have something over the windows. But if you only have something light over the windows, you use a blanket. Just make sure your curtain rod can hold it. That's a good important thing.
That's very
And
true.
also make sure that you have some support in a stud, because if you get too heavy, you're not in a stud, it will come out.
Yeah.
I will say for us, we've always done blackout curtains. And right now we have two sets of blackout curtains on the majority of the windows in the house.
Yeah.
We have a white one and we have a dark gray. And depending on which room you're in, one's in the front, one's in the back. But I decided that's how I wanted to set our house up, because in the summertime, the white will reflect the sun, keep your house a little bit cooler. It really helped a lot in our bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And in the winter time, that extra heat from both sets, that darker set, it really does help.
Oh yeah.
It helps so much. There's two sets of curtains. Can't beat that. Now this next thing, how to go to bed warm. And this is something Aaron and I have always been really passionate about, is making sure that the bedroom, the bed's warm. So before, we used to use an electric blanket,
which uses electricity.
Exactly.
Which that energy. You know, that's money to do that with. How
And they don't make them like they used to.
right? So how can you do that? You know, if you don't want to heat a room up or use an electric blanket.
Well, we had to replace them. We went through two,
Oh, that's
and
true.
a few times. We
Yeah,
went through
yeah.
two
They.
because of the way they make them now.
Hmm.
We couldn't find a one that would fit our bed that didn't have like multiple plugins, multiple connections, and
Yes.
it kept they kept going out.
Yep.
And that's a fire hazard,
Yep.
and it's just dangerous, and it was also real expensive because to get a queen size, they're not cheap.
Right.
They're not, you can't get them on sale, but they're not cheap. So what we found through accident, because
Hmm.
we were actually looking for another heated blanket, was a weighted blanket on the bed will actually help keep it a little warmer.
Oh yes, definitely. Because it keeps, it puts more weight down on the
Yes.
bed and keeps it, from any cold air from coming into it.
So we also found like Eric could lay across the bed,
Hmm.
like where the feet go, and it would feel like it was heated
Yep.
at that point, and it would hold that heat and that temperature. I mean, even if it's just like 3 or 4 minutes while I'm finishing up in the bathroom, and then he goes before bed. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a happy accident. I
Mm.
had gotten him a weighted blanket for birthday or Christmas, something like that.
One of the two. Yeah, I don't know which one.
I'm not fond of them. I will tell you that. I don't like them. I don't like the weight, but
I love
he
them.
loves them. And it does warm up the bed really nicely.
Mm.
It really does. It helps. So we have a weighted blanket here. This is one of the ones he has. He has three now.
Yeah. So this one here, I'm not gonna pick it all up because this one is a very heavy one.
It's extremely heavy. Um, but that does work well. It's a great hack to get your
Mm.
bed nice and toasty. Another tip for this is use good flannel sheets.
Yeah. You don't use, any cooler sheets, anything like that.
Make sure you're switching them.
Right.
We are t-shirt, true 100% cotton jersey
Hmm.
people. We love them. They're wonderful in the summer.
But in the winter,
It is cold.
we want those flannel ones.
We know because we have cotton
Hmm.
jersey sheets on the bed right now that really need to be switched with a pair of flannel. And I've already told Aaron that when we go to Ollie's, which I have found has some of the best prices on flannel
Hmm.
sheets, we're going to be getting a couple of sets with a 15% off coupon. Sleep sacks for the baby. It's another tip here. If you have a little one, get them the footed sleep sacks. You can get them anywhere. I got a few at a couple of
Yes.
sales.
So think of it like
It's like a quilted sleeping bag with feet.
with feet and arms out.
Well, you can get them with the
Oh,
arms
well,
in
yeah,
too.
you can, yeah. But like the one that she's got right now, the arms and feet are free, and it covers from, you know,
Her shoulders and
shoulders
her
down to the
legs,
ankles.
and she loves it.
Oh yeah.
She loves it. She got mad at us last night when we took her out of bed.
Hmm.
She was not happy. Like, put me back in my sleep sack. I'm warm. I'm warm. We also do socks underneath her sleeper to keep her
Hmm.
feet warm. So she's like at a good toasty
Right.
level. Um, and they have them in different, like, quilt thicknesses.
Hmm.
So we have two. We have one for extremely cold, and we have a couple of them that are in between. I have gotten a few at those sales, those pop up sales, but we also got her a couple just to have
Yeah.
because we know if we lose power.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like an emergency prep that you might not be thinking about if you have a little one that is something you really need to think about.
You can layer.
Hmm.
You put her in a onesie, and then a fleece sleeper, and even do leggings. Now they make leggings for babies. You could do a onesie, a legging, a sleeper, and then one of those. They're going to stay good and warm,
Yeah.
and it's safe because it's something they wear. She'll still be able to wear this one for another year. Um, at her current size, which if we get 3 years out of it, I'm gonna feel amazing
Oh yeah.
out of these because that's a killer savings for what we spent for them. So I feel really great about that. The next thing is something that Aaron and I actually got each other.
Each other for Christmas, and it wasn't something that we were telling about. Is this one mine or is this one
This
yours?
one's mine.
Okay.
You have two. I got
Okay.
you at opposite. So it looks like a battery charger. or
Which it can be used as one as well.
it can. But what it is an electric hand warmer, and it's like a USB charged one.
Yep. So you charge it up with USB. You have these things charged up. You know you're gonna lose power. It's a great way to keep your hands warm. You know, if you're going to any kind of game or anything outside, you can stick that in your pocket and put your hands in there to keep them warm as
If you
well.
have a small solar battery,
Charge them up with those.
anything like that, they'll charge, and they do really well. It doesn't get terribly hot, so you're not going to burn yourself up. It does get warm though, especially like you can be comfortable on the body, but your hands can get so cold, so cold. And then you feel like you cannot get them warm, especially if you've been cooking and doing all these other things where you're in water. It doesn't matter how hot that water is, once they come out, it's cold, and you feel like it chills you to the bone.
Yeah, and if you don't want to use anything like this, they still make the hot hand warmers, which you can use, which are, just as good, except, you got to throw them away afterwards.
Yeah, we like these because they're multi-use.
Right.
We can get multiple uses out of these, multiple times, in different ways. But then it goes to the next, a few of the other options you have. You have the option of a rice bag. You can make the rice bags, heat it up in the microwave. Again, you're going to use a little bit of electricity that way, but not too terribly much that it's cheaper than running your hot water heater and keeping your hands under hot water.
I mean, you can even go back to the olden ways of putting a hot water bottle or a hot brick,
You can do that for your bed, things like that. If you're comfortable with that, like the hot water bottle, we've looked at those.
Yeah, we really need to pick up one of those,
or two, or three. We saw somebody talk about having them like when they go out and keeping like the little one warm in the car while they're waiting for the car to warm up. It's always in the back seat, which is the safest place for them to be if you have a back seat. And it takes longer for it to warm up back there, so to keep them comfy and warm outside of their jackets and coats, it's a really, really great way. I thought that was just so smart. Warm beverages, coffee, hot cocoa.
Yeah. Make sure you're having something hot, to keep act like you're staying warmer than you actually are, as having something hot, to drink.
It does give you a feeling. Like we know, because when we're cold, we want coffee or we want a mocha. If you feel that coldness, you want that warmth on the inside. And going with that, warm foods, warm meals. Those meals that give you comfort, that make you feel good and warm on the inside. Chili.
Yeah, I mean,
Tis the season.
Tis the season, yes. So think about, cold week, looking ahead, bowl of chili, bowl of soup, for supper every day, makes you feel a lot better. And something we didn't even think about, taking a warm shower.
Oh yeah, taking a warm shower. The problem with the warm shower is when you come back out, it's cold.
It is, but you do
feel warmer.
You do feel warmer for a period of time as well.
Once you get dried
that's going to cost more electricity now, unless you have, like a way to heat your water via wood or
solar,
something like that.
Yeah, just different things. Starting to think outside the box of how you stay warm. What are your tips and ideas to stay warm without using electricity?
Yeah. What are you doing right now, or plan on doing this winter, to make it as long as possible before turning that heat pump on or the heat pump up?
Or are you in one of those areas where it's you want the cold weather because you're burning up, or you feel like you're going in a flood? It seems like one side of one side's getting a lot of warm air, a lot of water, and then everybody else is getting kind of cold.
Yeah, but if there's any other tips or anything you want to let us know what you're doing, leave those below in the comments. And make sure to go over and check out our link tree, which has all of our other content.
Yes, and as always, thank you for joining us on the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a wonderful day.